to start, mate? You want to be?
No.
Oh, you can let me do it this week. All right.
Not. You go for it, mate.
You scarred, I was like.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, welcome to episode 11, Spark Rangers podcast. It's going to be a more visual one this week, so probably not going to bang on Spotify. It's only going to be on YouTube because we're going to be going into testing and just a bit of equipment and just going through all the test equipment that we use, what we use it for, why. So probably going to be more of a Sparky related one this week and more interested to them. First off, shout out, new sponsor. I don't know what attracts them to us, but it's another beer sponsor, Stone and Wood.
These ones look good too because they're like a limited release one. I didn't realise this.
We got hooked up with the limited edition Hinterland Hazy Pale Ale. They're actually good. I had one the other day. Fruity. Oh, there's a steam coming off them. They're fucking cold. I just got them out of the freezer. I got to hide them because all the sponsor beers have to stay separate from the other beers, otherwise everyone will drink them.
That's pretty good. Mine's got ice on the top. That's really nice.
Yeah, I've only put them in the freezer.
That's good. All right, so what are we talking about first? I'm going to start then. I'm going to start with the stuff that I use definitely daily. So my fucking workhorse is this thing, which actually, you know what? You gave me this one.
Because I'm just that kind of guy.
This is just my TS 1000, the Fluke one, little multimeter. I use this. I have this in the famous vest, and I use it for everything.
The vest.
I use it for everything.
Oh yeah, by the way, we're selling vests now.
Yeah, so we're going to buy one. Hit us up.
Yeah, New Age vests. If you're keen, let us know. I'm going to get some custom made Sam's vests.
I want to get Sam 01 written on the back of mine, or Hilton 01.
Oh yeah.
And then the other thing I use...
So mine's obviously better than yours because mine's a T6 1000.
Oh, good for you.
So whatever you got, I'm one up.
Yeah.
Apart from your other meter, actually. That's pretty good.
Oh, and then, so then this is the other one. This is the...
So what's the difference with the T6 1000's got the field sense? So non-contact voltage.
This is just the older version of that, isn't it? This is just
but this has the voltage detection in the prongs.
True. Yeah.
With the field sense.
Yeah.
So you ground contact, and then you can get voltage from. I don't know. Do people use that? I haven't used it that much. It's pretty good in switchboards tracing stuff out.
Yeah. No, it's good because it's just a way.
It's still chunky, man. Like it's got a pretty.
Well, that's why I like this old one because it's actually slimmer than that one. But the workhorses, I reckon those are like everyone.
That's your go-to, eh? That's your daily. That's
your daily. Everyone that
daily multimeter. That's where you start. I've actually got another one from. I left it on site today because I was on the tools today.
Okay.
And the other one I've got is a Major Tech. One we got sent a bit of a package from them, so I got one of their multimeters, which is that's good. It's also got thermal. It's got thermal like a probe on it.
It's got a test. It's got a heat probe on it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we used that. We used that on the switchboard when we were doing that inspection and testing report that we were doing.
Don't know how well it worked, but good in hindsight.
Yeah, 100%. All right, I'm going to go. What else have I got? I've also got this. I bought this as a kit a while ago. It's like an electrician's meter kit, and it's got the Fluke 117 multimeter in it, which it's a really nice basic meter.
So this is your
This is like
testing.
if I haven't got the MFT on me, I can use this stuff to do most tests because I do also carry a basic analog installation resistance tester that I can use, but I also have the 117, and I also have a clamp meter that honestly I reckon I've used a couple of times. But
is that the DC and AC or not?
No, this is only the AC version.
Got to go DC AC.
But as you can see, it's still got the cover on the screen, so I use this all the time. But this was good because I bought this when it was on sale, and I think it was about $500 in this bag with both those 2 meters. So that was a good win for me.
So I guess talking with, you just said meter wise. So from phasing out, so we know they're phasing out analog meters.
Yeah. So from when we went to the from the NECA evening that we went to, there was a lot of discussion around
NECA.
Sorry, Nika. The Englishness busted out hard then.
That's a white
They,
mate.
they are talking about phasing out these things, which I totally get because I didn't, in the UK, we don't, I hadn't seen one of these, I'll be honest.
Old school. I think I've actually got one from the UK. My granddad's one.
Kairitsu
Yeah.
Kairitsu insulation continuity.
I did have that exact one, and I ended up getting that stolen from one of the guys, because no one ever seems to buy their own IR testers, so they normally take mine and then I have to buy a new one, and I'm probably on my 5th or 6th one, so I just went the cheapo one, just so we got one. I think they're $250, whereas they're 400 or something.
Yeah. I just don't.
Good to have still though. I know they're phasing out, but it's an easy. We've got what we run through the business is we've got 2 multifunction testers, which the guys, we don't have one per car, which we probably will have to look at doing it. Some of the guys have their own ones, so if they got that, but we run two in the workshop, which is
I'll get
the top dog, the Metral MI3 152. That's the go-to. So when we're testing and commissioning a house, this is what we're using, and this records all the data. Super easy to use. We're going to do some videos. So we've finally got the test board that we've done the shed up and running. So we're running a little event on that tomorrow with all the guys. So we're going to start doing some videos on just all your mandatory tests and running through it with the MFT. So like these ones, it's super easy, single test, and you just got everything on there and you go through. So, you got your continuity, your IR test, your RCD, your loop tests, and then you can run your voltage through and everything. So then they got auto sequence testing. So when you come into this folder and you go through, so it's got like electric vehicle, like charge go throughs, like a sequence, a sequence. So then you plug your bad boy in. So we've got about 500 things on the floor here. This is the A1532. So you're plugging this in and then into your EV charger and then running your live tests. So you can make sure that's all running correctly. And then that'll save all the data onto the MFT, which then you can use to, you got to have it. You got to have.
So the only thing I think that's the Metral downfall at the moment is from what are.
It's only 2.
Well, it's 2 things. So it only syncs to Android devices, which we haven't sort of figured out because I haven't had the time to play with it.
Yeah.
And also because it doesn't have, they're not as widely available, I don't think, in Australia as everything else. So their support is not as good because they're Italian. They're Italian and
big in the UK.
Big in the UK.
But I love this thing. I reckon it's so nice to use. I know Jacko's got the Fluke.
No, he's got the Seawood.
Well, is his a Seawood?
His is a Seawood. So that was the other thing.
So that's like a cheaper
I'd be interested to know. Actually, people can shout out about that because I would be, because they are.
Which one?
The Seawood MFT is about $800, whereas like you're looking at the Metrels was over $2,000,
2.2 or something.
But then the other one that we do have that I have used a few times, I don't rate it as highly as the Metrel, but it still has its warrants. Like it still is a good one. It's the Majortech MT390, which is like their version of the standard MFT.
Yeah, so that's about $1,500 or maybe $1,200.
Yeah, it's about $1,200, and it does all the same things. It's got all the same functions as those ones.
The good thing with this one, so every MFT's got a different set of leads and how they plug in and where they run. The other thing is with MFTs, if people aren't familiar with them, I think they can be a bit like scary.
Yeah, they can be a bit daunting.
Yeah, because you're going, oh shit, like it's not just the one scale. You got to make sure you're going into the right thing. The buttons on this one are way more confusing because you've actually got to push buttons, it's not a touch screen.
Yeah, the touch screen is good on the.
You've actually got to be able to get through and figure out how to, and that's probably the hardest thing is maneuvering around and finding the right test sequences and stuff. So you got to do it all through the dial. then the good thing is though, you click a help button and it actually gives you a wiring diagram of how to wire up
Your leads for the
your
test.
leads on it. So when you run the test, so that is, I guess that's a pretty good thing for someone starting out, like going cheap. And I had someone ask me about it and saying, "Oh, do you reckon I should splash out?" And I said yes. So Mick, who hit me up, one of the other Sparkies in the area, about going to the more expensive one, and I said, "Go the Metral." And like, I feel like it's
my
the
other
use
one.
of it
The other
is
one that I
easy.
rate is the Mega ones because I trained on Megas, so I know that the Mega brand ones are really good.
Of course, this is out of battery because
Not charging.
no charge.
Yeah, so I know that the Mega brand ones I've used. I've used the Mega multifunction tester from literally all the way through my apprenticeship. So I highly rate those. I highly rate the Metral. Like I said, the Magitech one for the money I feel is great. It's just it is a bit more clunky. It's a little bit less user friendly than the Metral, which you would kind of understand because it's $1,000 less.
Yeah.
The other one that going back to what we were originally talking about before, I would love to hear some more feedback from people who have bought and owned Seawoods. Like I said, Jacko, who works for us, owns one.
They look like the Fluke one, don't they?
He uses it all the time, and
You know, the only
seems
thing
to be able to do it really well.
Like, I don't know what it is, and I don't know if it's just it attracts me to it, but the color and then how Fluke's just fucking.
What, yellow?
No, not the color of the screen.
Oh,
I feel like it's easy to read it in color and like digital color.
oh, that thing is like.
That's like an
it's
iPhone screen.
Yeah, it is.
That's HD.
It is a cool.
4K.
It's so simple to use as well. Like you can literally. Yeah, I was using it to do some fault finding the other day, and it does make your fault finding so much easier. I mean, the biggest thing with MFTs, right, is that it's all these things. Like it's all these things that we're showing you in one thing, and that if you're not using them, I think if you I feel like if you don't own one as a Sparky and you run your own business, you're fucking mad because they are the future. If you don't have one, fucking go out and get one.
Like that's what you have to pretty much.
Well, they're going to phase these things out.
So you
unless you
can
want to
buy
go to
digital.
Fluke,
You can
or
buy
you want to
digital.
go and
You can buy
buy
a digital one.
digital insulation resistance tester, which I think they're around $900.
Yeah.
So think about it, right? So in order to be able to complete the full schedule of tests as per AS3000, you would need this $500 set, a $900 insulation resistance tester. You'd need an RCD tester, which I don't even know what they're worth.
Yeah, well,
As a singular meter.
Yeah, well, then you can look at the. Is that the PAT tester? What is that? No, where is it? It's not in here.
That's it. That's it.
Is it?
But you need to be able to do. You can do this, but it's pretty.
That's an RCD tester.
It is. It is.
So this is the other one we use, which is the Metral MI3309BT, which we use for all our testing and tagging. It is an absolute punish, though. I don't know if anyone's using one of these and doesn't get the shits with it every time you use it. Let me know, because I feel like I don't know if it's the incompetence of our workers not being able to figure it out.
No, it's just because I think as well, like we do it for a few clients and it doesn't come out enough and regularly enough that we're doing it all the time. So it's like not at the fucking front of your mind.
That's what we were using for RCD tests. So we were doing trip tests with that and then storing the data on there. Now using the Metro MFT, so much easier. So what do they run? So the RCD test runs a sequence of like 5 trips or something.
It's much it's more than that now. I think it's around 6 or 7.
Go out to your outlet, run it, and you stand back at your board and it'll run 5 trips on it, I think.
Plus a ramp test.
Yeah.
Plus, it does the full schedule of testing as per what you need for RCD testing.
Yeah.
And it's something that everyone should be doing. But going back to my original point is that if you were to go out and buy each of the individual meters that you need, it's going to cost you more than what an MFT is going to cost you. So it just makes sense. And like I said, I am looking that I would love to buy one of the Seawood ones because I don't have $2,000, but I would just to have one, like $800 to me seems like a great option. For us to have the Metral here is awesome because it's the bomb. Like it is the best.
That's the one we got in, and that's when the guys are commissioning a house. They'll come, get the equipment, take it out, and run through with the Metral.
Yeah.
Everyone's slowly learning how to use it, and that's why we're going to keep doing these tests.
It does take time. It's not if you're not
you
familiar
know what
with
confuses you know the one thing that confuses people is you've got 3 leads that come out of it, and you disregard one with most tests. So it won't work unless you have the right lead. So
But from memory,
what is it?
doesn't that have
The
a
earth lead
as well?
that you don't use, or you do
Yeah,
use?
so earth lead. No, earth lead on insulation resistance. You only use the blue and the brown.
Yeah.
So that confuses people.
Yeah.
So the 3 lead function is for like RCD testing, so that you can RCD test something like you could RCD test a light fitting, like an old school light fitting.
I'll back that in though.
Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, every van.
What
would have one.
other go-tos we've got? This is a good one. This is for people that aren't familiar with or don't have one of these meters. You got to get one. This is probably one of the best. Wouldn't say money makers, but like get yourself out of shit, but charge money at the same time to use it. So this is like the power and harmonic analyzer from Cyber Visual, DW6095. This is what we're using. So say, for example, we do a lot of work on pubs and stuff, and they go, oh, we're doing a big reno, and this is what we want to do, and we're going to add all this stuff in, and we don't know, like, it's like doing, I know you're still going to do a maximum demand calc for what's going in there. What we do is you run this in the switchboard for a week, and then it takes all the data, and then you download it into a spreadsheet, and it gives you your high peaks of your amp load. So you've just got like these CT clamps that you put around all your mains, and then it just literally reads data for a week, spits it into a graph, tells you like your highest loads on what phases and stuff. So it's good for picking up phase imbalances on switchboards as well. So we'll put that on as you know, if you work at pubs, how fucking shit they are to work in because someone's just throw shit on anything. We'll put that on a switchboard, and we go, oh, blue phase is absolutely loaded, but it doesn't kick in. It's all, you can go there with a clamp meter and do it, but you're not standing there for 24 hours knowing when the peaks and stuff are.
No, and a prime example of that was where we did it most recently, was that there was a massive imbalance on, I think it was like the white phase. Like it was huge.
Coffee machine.
The imbalance was huge.
Right?
It was something like that.
Like a coffee machine kicking in, like a 32-amp coffee machine kicking in, but it wasn't always running. So everything looked kind of balanced, and then boom, you just have these big spikes.
So the great thing is it just sits there. There's no interaction with it. Once you've set it up and it's going, you just leave it there, let it do its thing for a week. You come back, take it away, uninstall it, bring it back here. We drag the data off it, punch all that data into an Excel spreadsheet, and then we can give the client like accurate sort of feedback on what their usage is across a period of time. So the last one we did was like across a good weekend, and that gave them.
We got a lot of rain, and I feel like it's going to impact the sound.
It looks like you're fucking screwing face onto it.
It's a fucking rabbit ass. There we go.
Yeah, so it was just a good tool to be able to see, especially in the runtime that we were able to, because like you say, like you could go to a pub on a Monday morning, and their usage is not going to be anywhere near what it is on a Friday, Saturday night, Saturday, Sunday afternoon.
Unless you want to stand
unless you want to literally stand there with a clamp meter for
4 days. So that's a super easy one. We just charge a flat rate for when we do it for someone. So we've got like a price that we charge for it, which includes obviously going out to site, installing it, because sometimes you can't get the sometimes you can't. There's piercing clamps and stuff because sometimes you can't actually get the.
You can't get the clamp meters around.
You can't get them around, so you've got to pierce into the actual mains.
Well, we had to do a few things on the last one actually, and sort of cobble things together.
Yeah. But
a bit of bodgy.
Yeah, we just have like a set price for that, and we just go, look, if you want us to do that, it's so and so amount of dollars. That includes a report that we email off as well. You can take that. We offer that to other Sparkies as well. So if you listen and you feel like you need it done, you want us to come and do it. We've done it for a few other people, so it's a handy tool to have, and you can flick that off to the client, and then they know exactly what they've got. So that's a super handy. I will say a tester, but a tool, I guess.
But actually, on that point,
Yeah.
The other one that we haven't spoken about that we haven't done either is that where's that the Shelley's one, the one that sits in just like residential switchboards that we
I'll
have.
got that in my car.
So another one that's happening, another one that like it happened. I think it's been a thing in the UK. It's basically a small device that you can buy yourself online.
It's an energy meter.
And it's an energy meter that you can.
It's like the same as a puck. Like it's yeah.
But you can have that sitting in your switchboard analysing.
And it comes with, and you buy a CT clamp.
Yeah, and it would be a good one for people looking to get batteries to work out what their usage, what their peak usage is. So you could find out what you would need to run your backup loads on.
We are gonna do. I've got a set that I'm gonna install in my house. So I'll do a video of installing and then like a follow up of it. I guess
it's going to be a selling point for us to try and give to people. We would be looking at giving those to people who are going to get batteries. We give that to them, and then we give them a much more accurate idea.
Put it
of
on a loan or something to someone, they're only $100, $150, I think.
But it's a great tool to be able to give people accurate data as to what power they're using and when, because I feel like that's a big thing. Is like you need to know when your peak usage is so that you can get the right system for you. Otherwise, we can sell you something that is not potentially going to give you the right service for what you need. And it enables the battery setup that we give you to be set up in the right way.
All right, my next tester meter is my phase rotation meter. So I've just got a Kavak one for this. So if you don't have one of these, mate, you got to have one of these.
Actually, you know what? Those MX2s.
This isn't one of the best ones. I know the other one I used to have, which I don't know who took from me. I buy expensive things, and then people take them, so then I have to buy cheap stuff because I'm sick of people stealing my. So this is one we got to check the push. It's not one of the best ones on the market, but definitely something handy to keep when we're doing switchboard changeovers and stuff. Just before you're disconnecting, just checking your phase rotation. Like, if you're not doing that, no, it's just like,
relying on someone else's. It goes back to relying on someone else's work.
I think that's a something you've got to have.
Especially when you go to somewhere and they've all three phases are labelled as fucking red.
I was going to say if you're working commercial, but I guess
which happens
really
all the time
having to use it for residential work, but. There's more and more houses with 3-phase, and whether they have appliances that need to be correct rotation is another thing. But that's that.
I'm going to do this one then. I'm going to get this one out because I've used this one probably most of it.
Everything's in a fancy case, which is nice as well. And you know what else I put in the cases? I've got. Look at this. Did you know I did that? I hid that. So as I was saying, everyone steals my shit. I've actually went and bought a heap of tiles. These tiles from JB Hi-Fi that I keep in all the expensive meters boxes. So just in case it's the age-old thing of someone saying they don't know where it is, and it's usually in their car. I can get that up and get the satellite tracking of where it actually is. It's usually in the same person's car.
He's got one on some of the employees as well.
Yeah.
They just don't know.
Yeah.
So good luck with that.
That's it. And I got a kill switch on it, so if you piss me off.
Future. All right, this is, I'll show you this one. We got put onto this one by Nathan from ProTech, who was on, I think, last week.
Yep.
Was he on last week?
Yeah.
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 So I borrowed his because we were doing some government renovation jobs, and they had, what was it, a shielded screen, and it required data reports to be produced. So we were able to do them by using this tester. It's kind of a non-brand, I suppose.
Is it a copy of a brand? I feel like
I don't know.
There's a heap of them. If you look them up, there's a heap of them. They're all the same, but they've all got different. But they all look exactly the same.
But it is very cool in that it's very useful for data because it has this wand, which is a great tone testing tool. So you plug this into your data point, and then you can go out with this and start tracing. And it does. I'll show you. I should just quickly. it does one of two things. So not only does it give you a really accurate on just normal data cable testing, it'll give you an attenuation of what your loss is across your cable, but it also generates reports.
Yeah, so that's what we needed it, because we had to make reports for the job we were on and provide reports to the builder.
Yes. Because it was a government job, and they needed to see that. So it basically generates a report off that. Obviously, if it was fully tested and complete, it would show all those things all the way through. So that was a good one. I think, what was that one, like $700 or something?
Yeah, I think so, $700.
And this one's been pretty useful because I've used this to test.
That's also for checking CCTV, so you can plug cameras in through it and get them up on the camera, up on the screen and stuff as well. So.
And there's the cable. There's the tone tool. So it sends a wavelength out, and it's really useful because I used that at one of the pubs that we do maintenance work for to find a data cable, so that we didn't have to run new cables in the pub. We could utilise what was already there. And without this, I wouldn't have been able to do that. A normal tone tester couldn't pick it up.
Tone tester. What's the other one we ran? The F-set. So
F-set.
That's the carback one again.
Fluke do one, but they're so expensive.
I probably had that and it got stolen.
Well, you
can you tell? Can you? I actually thought someone stole my multimeter today, but it was actually in the exact place I left it. I normally do that. Who's got this? Send a message out.
And then it's under his fucking
under
desk.
my desk.
That was the classic one.
So that tone tester as well. That's probably like a pretty stock standard one that most people run.
But I must say that was a point to make with those, is that don't try and use them. I have had no luck with those of late, trying to tone data out with them if we're doing data work.
Yeah.
So, then you're looking at, something a bit more.
Yeah.
Because I presume it's to do with the size of the conductor.
That's pretty much all the main go-tos. Like another good data tester as well, which I've been using. I've got two. So my main one that I use for data is the Ideal. I love this one. This is so good. This has got me out of so much shit. This is the VDV 2 Plus. This is such a good tester for the price. I think they're $300, maybe a bit less. This isn't my one because I've got like so what you can do is you can buy they're like a little RJ45 mech with a receiver in it. And they're all numbered, so you can go out if you're doing 24 data points, and it'll tell you that which one's which. But so you just have your puck in the bottom that goes out in the field, and then on your other end, it literally can tell you the breakdown to the meterage of where a fault is. Yeah. So it's a really good way when you're testing, and it'll tell you where the fault is, and it's like if it says under. It's like 100 mil, zero, whatever, it's the mech at that end. Yeah. It's probably the mech's not terminated right. So before you go and take everything off and check that, with this tester, it'll literally tell you, and if it goes, it's a 40 meter run and there's a break at 20 meters, you've got something bad going on. But normally it's always like, it's a 40 meter run and it says fail at 38 meters, it's within a couple of meters, it's normally either end of the, cable's not been terminated right, so that's a good tester for about the $300 mark. And then the other one we bought for all the cars was the Klein Tools one. So any of these are just from Total Tools or Sydney Tools. This doesn't even have batteries in it.
It does. Hold it down.
Is it?
Yeah. It's the.
Nah, I haven't put batteries in it. I literally just got this. I haven't used it.
They're really good. So I've got one of those and I use it all the time.
So it's pretty much a cheaper version of that Ideal one. So this will run you through the sequences, but it won't give you...
No, it won't give you a meterage.
It won't give you the meterage or like a fault meterage, will it?
No.
But...
No, but in our
$70 or something?
No, 140.
140. No, I feel like I think they were on sale. I think when we grabbed them, because we bought like...
Oh yeah, because you bought a bulk one.
They were like $80.
But going back to data, so with data now, we're getting into the realm of, in commercial especially, if we're doing lots of data, we would be using the meter that we showed you before that generates the report.
Yeah, have a report.
We'll be creating that, and then we can give the report to the client. It's an ass covering. it's 100% an arse covering because we can basically go.
I feel like our whole life now is arse covering. That is pretty much what we have to do. That's the life of an electrician, hey?
Yeah, what it is, yeah, because we're always. I think the hardest thing is that we're predominantly the last people at.
And then you get blamed. How many times you've been blamed, right? You get in someone's roof and you get a phone call the next day like, oh, my water doesn't work anymore. And it's funny that you were in my roof yesterday and now my water doesn't work.
The one that constantly happens is, oh, you came here yesterday and turned the power off and now my internet doesn't work. As if, like, I've done something horrendous to your internet, whereas really all it does
my signal used to be really good and now I only get 2 bars or something. Yeah, that's...
So, yeah, there's a lot of ask covering, but that comes back to photos as well. Like, we've talked about this so many times. Like, before and after photos, I think, is a big thing that we're always...
And I can tell you, every time something comes up and there's a problem, it's the one time that the guys haven't taken a photo of it and we have no leg to stand on, even though we know that it's like... They go, no, I didn't. But it's like, okay, you get a photo. No, that's the only thing I didn't take a photo of. So there might be 50 photos from this one day, but the one thing we need a photo of, they don't have.
But also, you know what? Nothing is better than the feeling of dealing with someone.
When you do have the photo.
And they go, oh, yeah, but this. And you go, no, I've got photos of that. And they go, what do you mean? You go, oh, I'll send you the photos right now. And you send the photos and they go, oh, okay.
I might start making the guys wear body cams. And we'll have to go back through the body cam footage.
I don't think you'd want to go back through that body cam footage.
No.
I feel like
that might be a show on its own.
Yeah, that might be. There'd be some horrible things going on there.
But yeah, I guess in regards to logging of testing, like if you are testing a house, I know this is the biggest thing we're talking about at the moment, especially internally, is mandatory testing on a new build or anything that you're doing, really.
Well, it just comes down, I think the big discussion that we keep having is that testing is not just something you do because it's in the regs. You test things because you want to know that the installation that you're providing to someone is safe and that someone... And yes, things get missed and things happen. But at the end of the day, it gives you a level of confidence that if you've completed that testing, you are confident in that installation, that you know the testing is there and the schedule of testing has been created by people for a reason. And so...
Well, the reason is, at the end of the day, people fucking die. And I think that's one thing that people don't realise. I was talking to another electrician about this the other day. He's gone to a job and there's like a major issue of a neutral that was left out. There's no neutral. And a client had called him to come to fix this other guy's fault, and he actually ended up pulling up this electrician and actually bringing it up with him because he got the number from the client, and the guy just fired back, like giving all these excuses, and he's like, mate, I'm just letting you know what you've done is wrong and unsafe, and that could kill someone. It was an oven that he'd livened up with and not connected to neutral. Yeah. Like, it doesn't even make sense. And he's like arguing all these excuses, like, oh, I was going back, I had it locked off, like, I don't even know why it's turned on, like, it should have been, like, I had a piece of cable, like, locked off in the switchboard. Like, I think people forget, at the end of the day, this shit can fucking kill you. Or not it can kill someone else. Your negligence of not testing can kill someone. It can burn someone's house down. It can, UK... Last week or this week, 7-year-old kid dead at a pub.
Yeah.
Touched a live light fitting, dead. Kid.
Yeah, and that's the shit. Like those are the kind of things that, as an electrician or as someone that works with electricity, those are the things that keep me up at night. I'll be honest.
Same, exactly
all
the same.
The time.
If I even worry about something and I'm going, what like. I've got to go and fix it now. Like, oh, did I do that right? Shit, did I do that right? I'm going to go back and check it because at the end of the day, like,
I don't want it to come across that we're fucking perfect
test, either. No, not saying that at all.
No one is perfect.
But it's got to be bringing everyone to a standard. And I know it's a thing where I've been in that situation and worked for people where it doesn't get done.
No.
Flicking on an RCD and pressing it is not a fucking test.
No, and it's not going to tell you what you need to know.
And if you can't test or you don't know how to, you need to Mate, there's heaps of videos on YouTube.
Yeah,
there's like, you know what I mean? Like at the bare minimum, you got to speak to someone. You got to find that out. Like I know if you're not doing it, or if all right, so say you're an apprentice that's working for someone, because I know a lot of apprentices listen to this. If you're an apprentice and that's working for someone that's not testing, it is your duty as someone who's going to become an electrician to learn how to test. Just you can't have an excuse that your boss hasn't taught you.
Because at the end of the day,
find another way
when
to
you're
learn that.
qualified and you go out and you're not testing and someone dies on an installation that you have signed off, it won't be him going to fucking prison. It will be you, and you will be going to prison
At the end of the day,
because you've killed someone.
That's exactly what can happen. And I don't think people even think about that either. If your negligent work kills someone, you go to jail.
Yeah.
Or get fined through the fucking roof. I don't know.
But also just, yeah.
But it comes down to the same thing of fires, loose connections, whatever it is. Like
loose connections is a big one, because I think that's something that gets missed and something that's probably not talked about. Like loose connections are incredibly dangerous, and they will inevitably at some point. You might be lucky, they might just burn the RCBO out, or they'll burn a hole inside of the RCBO, or the fucking switchboard will set on fire and someone will, you'll burn their house down. I've seen it, like we've seen it. We've been to switchboard fires where the person hasn't even known that the fucking switchboard was on fire, and they've gone, there was a lot of smoke and there was a lot of a bad smell, and they're calling us, and we go there, and the thing had literally set on fire. These people were lucky to be alive. Like that stuff is frightening. Like that's not. Yeah, I think
if that doesn't,
that's the biggest take stock from.
You got to think. I know it's hard because I know a lot of people do test, and so many people out there do. There's definitely people that don't, and I know it's like you're busy. Like you can never use that as an excuse. Like you're in a rush to get out of somewhere, and you like, oh, it's fine. Like, mate, you can't do that.
No.
You've got to just take the time. You've got to have the right equipment. Like if at the bare minimum you don't have an IR test. Like I know people that don't even have an IR tester in their fucking car.
Yeah.
Like you got to be implementing all those tests, all the mandatory tests, and documenting it so that you do have a record. So if someone so we've got sheets now that the guys have in their job packs to document all the testing, so that if something ever does happen, we can go back and go, mate, we've got that. Like that passed a test. That's going to cover your ass. Yeah. If something ever did happen, like in time, something breaks down or whatever, someone else comes after you, but they didn't do it. But then you're going back to the person that they remember and go, oh, and these guys did this house.
Yeah, I just don't think it's not going to be long here before it will become mandatory that test results are provided.
This is the thing, right? Where we are in this area, in the Northern Rivers, there's no inspectors, electrical inspectors or anything like that. Like when I'm in Victoria, all our work was inspected. Mm-hmm. And so much more regulated. I don't know. I haven't worked anywhere else in New South Wales, so I don't know.
I know it's still big in Sydney. I feel like it's just.
Is it just this small? It's a small area.
I feel like it's just. I think it's just a time thing, and I feel like there's probably not the understanding of what's going on here. But it won't be long before it happens, because there's too much going on here. But also, I suppose, like the state as a whole, there's so much going on in the state in general. And across all states, I'd imagine that it's probably very hard to police, because
someone died. The other one was with the other guy that died in Perth. In Perth, in the roof. So another story. Young guy killed in a roof. Electrocuted in a roof.
But I feel like it's also based on a lot more on a trust system.
The rule is that you turn the power off.
Yeah.
How many people are doing that? I know we don't. You know what I mean? Like, how many other people do? How many people have got storage in their roof where they just get up and do stuff? No one's turned their mains off when they do that. But then you hear in the story like that, like...
Well, we've dealt with it on a few occasions whereby we've gotten into roofs and not known that it was old steel conduit.
100% turning that shit off then.
Fabric insulated fucking cables.
That's another story. I'm talking like, if you're getting in a new house roof, no one's turning the power off. But that is a rule. that you have to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's rules that people break, but you're still also putting your life at risk, because that's the same thing we're saying. Like you could then be getting into a roof of a house that someone hasn't tested.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, and predominantly that is the case.
That's the case. Especially like the steel frame, all the new steel frame houses that are going up and stuff. Like, mate, I'm killing that shit before you get in those roofs. Like that's
absolutely.
That's a fucking death trap. But I'll probably be a bit, I don't want to get arky on it and stuff like that, because all you want is the level of the industry to raise by everyone doing the testing and stuff like that, because it's the same thing as like implementing the testing into your quotes and stuff, because then you're quoting against someone, you might have an extra $1,000 on the job because that's a day of testing for you.
Yeah, that's right. I mean that
it takes about a day. Like realistically, when we're doing a new house, it's probably a day.
Yeah,
on one of the bigger houses, it's probably a day at the end of a job.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I can understand where people would be like, "Oh, we don't have time to do that.
Yeah,
we can't do that.
Well, I mean,
we've already lost money on this job."
Especially in what we're going into now, where work is becoming less frequent, and you are having to be more competitive because you are. Yeah, work is becoming more.
If you are a bigger company listening to this, and you've got some points on how you mandate your testing for your workers and stuff like that, because that's the other thing. Like, who falls liable if someone does, say they've told me they've tested. That's why we're bringing in the results on the sheets, so we can hold people accountable for it. But big companies that have heaps of guys, like, do they check in on people testing, or is it like a requirement that they're just doing it? I don't know. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
How are the businesses enforcing it and checking up on it?
Yeah.
If you've got ways that you do that, let us know. I'd love to know. Because that's the other thing, you're only as good as the people that... I'm not going around and testing every house. And I know I've been trying to get you guys out just to get everyone confident with it and making sure they're doing it right.
Yeah.
As much as we can, but...
And we're still learning all the time. Like, I'm still learning new, and I kind of like... That's why I kind of like to go out with people and talk about testing, because then they can give you hints and tips on how they do things better.
And makes stuff faster as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's... Yeah, the biggest thing for me is just... Yeah, we just need to... Everyone needs to be doing it, and it's not a fucking we're better than everyone else. We just want the standard to lift, because I feel like the standard needs to be lifted so that people don't get hurt. And that's it. It's as simple as that. There's no other... There is no... This whole thing that we do is dangerous. You can get hurt, and the last thing I would ever want to happen is for something that I've been associated with, for someone to get hurt on, because my conscience, that would fucking eat me alive if I knew that.
And you'd be in jail.
And someone else would be fucking eating me alive.
Yeah, that's it. Fuck. It's pretty wild. I think it was a good chat to have, because just to bring it up, make sure, and if anyone that's not confident in it, like, there's so many ways to learn, especially through YouTube, some good videos.
I think is the biggest thing as well. So going back to...
But don't be embarrassed to either. Like,
no way.
100%.
There's no harm in ever asking, because you don't know something, or you don't know you don't have the full understanding of it. And I'm not going to say that I'm going to be able to, or you or either of us are going to be able to provide you with all that knowledge, but that's why this thing is such a good thing, because it's a forum for everyone to get involved and talk about it. And like, it'd be great to get everyone's feedback on what they're doing and how they do it. Shout out as well to the Discord group chat that you and I are part of with Dave Willman and those guys, because that is a fantastic forum. I wish there was more of those.
I'll put a link up
really informative,
for any Sparkies.
Really informative thing that gives heaps of knowledge. And you know what? It's not fucking Facebook where you go on there and you ask a question and you get absolutely fucking rinsed. You can go on there and actually ask a question and get some serious answers and get some serious feedback.
And there's a heap of different, there's guys in there that are full industrial, and everywhere around Australia.
And like, people are actually willing to provide you with good answers, just makes you feel like you're not, not doing the wrong thing, but also that there are other people out there that are actually struggling with the same issues that you're struggling with. So it's a great support network for guys in our industry. So massive shout out to Dave Willman and the guys who are sorting that out, because it is so helpful. I know I've been part of it, and I've learnt so much from it, because it's just been really helpful.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff. Like, no one knows everything.
No.
Mate,
And anyone that pretends that they do is a fucking idiot. Because they don't.
I think one thing I do now is like I flood myself with knowledge. I'm like, not knowledge, like information when I'm trying to learn something. So whether it's like something to do with like automation or something like that, and I'm like, fuck, I just want to learn about it. I just fucking flood myself with videos and information on it. And we said before, like Sparky's a fucking fair nerds, eh? Like that group chat's sorry, but there's a lot of fucking nerds in there as well. Like, but I think that's the froth of it. Like, you know, like there's dudes out there that are just doing it because that's what they just fell into and they don't give a fuck. And they're probably the people that aren't doing the testing and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guys that like, I love this.
Yeah.
Like I love it.
Yeah, same.
I couldn't really imagine doing anything else.
No.
Even though I'm not even doing it as much anymore on the tools today. No, got hands dirty. But
I'd definitely be testing that, by the way, anything that he's done.
I was just ripping out old cable. I wasn't even doing anything exciting. But just still being able to get involved with it, I love it. But I know now I'm a fucking pen pusher. But that's why I still buy tools and stuff, and like I don't use them as much as I get to. But like I still love, cool. I love that. Like I love having a loaded tool bag and getting new tools and the testers, and that's why I'm loving this. And seeing even the young guys, like we've got the test board now, and put one of the first years through the mandatory test, and he fucking nailed it. Like, you know, a little bit of help.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, it is. It's impressive.
And I was sitting there going, wow, that was like so good. And I'm like, how'd you learn that? Jackson, probably he's the future TAFE teacher that we have working for us, has taught him everything, but just, he cares. So it comes out that thing of like sucking in the knowledge. And if you actually care, you're going to be such a good Sparky. And it's so hard to tell people that now, but like just take in whatever knowledge you can, especially around testing, because it is confusing, remembering values and everything like that, but you know, and where to put cables and what to disconnect, and you know, is my MEN connected, is it not, all that sort of stuff. Like we've now got sheets as well. They're like pretty much a cheat sheet for testing, so runs you through everything. So I think if you work for someone that's not doing it, like try and find a way where you can learn, and YouTube's great. There's some pretty good videos on there. Once we've got this board fired up, I'm going to do some videos on it as well. Just trying to... I've looked through some on YouTube trying to pick the good ones, and they're all kind of different. There seem to be a lot of TAFE teachers doing it. I'd rather have it from an actual... And I'm not saying they're not actual electricians, but like a Sparky... we've wired that board, but we've wired our test board as a legit subboard. You know what I mean? Like it's not got, it's not looks, that's the thing on those ones. They don't look like what they're going to look like. So this thing looks exactly what you're going to wire your board like. So it makes it so much easier to visualize. So if we can do those videos, I think they'll be good for people. And it's not like like we're saying, like we're not saying we're perfect at everything, but they might be a bit flunky of getting our way through it.
Yeah. Well, I'm still hamming my way through something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm certainly not saying that I am the best and be all and end all at doing all this stuff, but I'm more than willing to learn and always hold my hand up and say I don't know how to do something. I think that's another big thing to never be frightened to say, is like I think we said before, just you don't know, ask the question.
Yeah.
Especially for apprentices, don't do that thing where you presume you know what you're doing. You presume you know what you're doing, and then you're going to fuck something up, and then you're going to piss someone off because you've just not lied, but you've sort of tried to fudge your way through something. And it's just easier just to be open and honest and ask the question.
Oh man, I look back on like jobs that we've done where I didn't test and stuff like that, and like I look now and I'm just like shit, like. You know, when we were small, we weren't doing it. Like, I know why people don't, all right? And you test to a certain level, but not to what we're expecting of our guys now, and not what we're requiring. But it's like saying it's never too late to start. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't just be like, I've never done it before, I'm just not going to do it now. It's like, if you haven't, just fucking start doing it.
Yeah, and that's it.
If you haven't got a multifunction tester, go and buy one.
Yeah,
if you don't have
right off against tax. Right?
If you're an apprentice, like, and you are looking to spend $1,000 on a multimeter or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, going to buy an expensive multimeter, maybe just look at buying a multifunction tester.
Yeah, seriously, go and buy yourself a Seawood.
Yeah.
Why not? Like, you're gonna spend that much. I mean, look, I spent $500 on 2 meters, where realistically I probably could have saved my money and bought if I'd have known. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest takeaway from what we're talking about today is doing the testing, but also I really feel like the MFTs are the only way to go. It's not like we're getting money from telling you that these are the way to go, but they are. It's not just the fact that they're getting good bits of gear. Then the old analog ones are getting phased out, but like they're going to make your life easier. They are going to make your job easier. They are going to enable you to test better. So that's the other thing with testing on it. It literally just, you don't even need to know the readings because it just gives you a tick and a pass. It tells you what to do. You put in the parameters and it tells you what's passed or failed.
And walks you through it.
Again, like these are all things, I'm all about making my life easier. So get something, spend the money, make your life easier. Work smarter, not harder.
That's it. So I guess a bit of a sparky one this week. So anyone that's not a sparky, I'm sorry. I hope you tuned out a little while ago, but it could be interesting. If you're a builder and you're noticing that maybe your work's not getting tested, it's another, another avenue to be like, hang on, fuck, like.
Well, especially if you're getting heaps of callbacks from clients. Say if you're the person that you're using, you're constantly having to go, they're constantly getting called, you're constantly getting calls from clients at the end of a build saying, hey, this isn't working and that's not working and this needs to be fixed and that needs to be fixed. It's kind of an instant red flag.
But that's even the level of going, like, if you've done a build and like you're a builder, you've built an amazing house and then your electrician isn't checking their work, like, wouldn't you want to know that it's safe as well?
Yeah.
Like, so like, even if that's a requirement, like, I know when we do all our bigger commercial stuff, it's like you've got to like record and supply test results. Whereas like a normal residential house, no one's asking for that shit.
No.
So.
And again, like it boils down, well, I know we keep saying it, but we are in no means, and I am in no means perfect at what I do. And there is times where, we fuck shit up and we do have to go back to people's houses to fix stuff. It's just saying, like, across the board, again, from a builder's perspective, if you were noticing that, there were lots of callbacks and lots of issues, it might be a red flag to you to start questioning, are these things being done by the person you're using? Because it is a requirement. We're not just saying this because we think it should be done. It has to be done. It's not optional. What we're talking about with testing wise, it is not optional. It is part of the regulations that you are supposed to abide by. So
do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
All right. Thanks for listening. Hopefully it was not trying to be yelling at you saying do this,
No.
but
It's good to talk about.
bit visual. But going through the different testers and that was good. So
Again,
back to
good
Sparky.
feedback. Let's get some feedback, please, on things that everyone uses, and let's get some more conversations happening about what people see as good. I'd love some feedback on if anyone else has one of the major tech multifunction testers, because I can't find many reviews on it. I'd love to know how people are going with them. Have they got other ones of the other major tech series? Because they seem to be doing quite a lot of stuff now, and it's really well priced. So I'd be really interested to see how people are going with that stuff. Because like I said, I think it's like a good option for people. Because as I said, MFTs, they're not cheap. I'm not, we're saying go out and buy them, but they aren't cheap.
No.
So if there is, like we said, we've mentioned the Seawood, we've mentioned the Major Tech. Let's find out some more information.
Yeah.
Give us some info, give us some feedback. Seawood especially, I'd love to know more feedback on anyone with a Seawood, because I wouldn't mind buying one because they're more than reasonably priced for what they are.
All right.
Sweet.
Easy. Thanks for listening.